Errol Spence Jr., Gervonta Tank Davis, Danny Garcia, Deontay Wilder, and the like may very well be on free TV as news came out that the PBC is working on not just the deal that they're announcing, but other ones. And we're going to talk about that and what it means for boxing in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, what we are going to discuss is news that has come out about where Errol Spence Jr., Gervonta Davis, Deontay Wilder, and the rest of the PBC crew may very well wind up fighting. And I think this is great news. And it is not just Amazon Prime that I'm talking about. After an interview was given by the former Showtime president, Stephen Espinosa. Before I get into those details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you guys so much for your support. And thank you for anybody that supports and sponsors this video in the super thanks. It is how we're able to continue to do this type of work that I hope you enjoy. The PBC Premier Boxing Champions is a boxing platform where boxing matches are aired. And they recently had a new deal struck with Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is a streaming service. And their first card is going to be, I'm going to say David Benavidez, that's not accurate. It is going to be Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman, or Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu, and that's going to be on March 30th. They have a huge stable of fighters, several hundred fighters, from my understanding. So, and they have 12 dates for these fights for Errol Spence Jr., for Gervonta, for the rest of these guys out there, Frank Martin, a bunch of very good fighters. But they have 12 to 14 pay-per-view dates. Stephen Espinosa gave an interview and said that that's not the only deal that the PBC is working on, that there could be an announcement any day about them also having a network deal. Now, the difference between a network and a streaming service is obviously that a streaming service is something that you get on your phone, right? And you basically get it over the internet. Amazon is a streaming service. DAZN is a streaming service, where ESPN is a network, right? And the network is basically the more traditional television outlets like ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox. And so not only do they have a huge streaming service, they're looking to also have the network deal, which would allow them to put on more fights and give fights to people without charge. And that would mean that it is possible that Errol Spence Jr.'s fights and Gervonta Davis fights, but probably not theirs, because, you know, everybody wants to be a pay-per-view star. But the guys like Jaron Ennis could be made available on free television, where you can see them and a larger number of people could see them. And I think that is a beautiful model, because it allows you to get the fighter to get more exposure by having more people be able to see them, and then be able to transition that into the platform where if it's a special fight, then you could have to pay for that fight. Right now, without network deals, or network deals that take place with ESPN and Amazon, ESPN specifically, you get to see all of the top-ranked fighters we've seen fight, and it doesn't cost us any money above the the cost of having your cable bill. And to be able to build up other fighters like that, back maybe in the beginning of Errol Spence Jr.'s career, he fought, I do believe it was CBS that he fought on. And I do believe Keith Thurman also fought there when the PBC was trying to get fights on those type of networks where you could have 4, 5, 6 million people watch an exciting fight and allow you to get that name recognition, which then can push you into the more premium type of deals. So honestly, man, for the fighters, I'm excited about it. For me as a fight fan, I'm excited about that option because I want to be able to talk boxing with more people. And the more people that are even just casually aware of a fighter because they're able to flick through the channels on their cable, especially older people, it's a great thing to have, man. And so I guess that the demise of the PBC, which it seems like certain factions of the boxing community really preys on, doesn't look like it's coming to fruition anytime soon. And the reason that is not the genius of Al Heyman, even though I don't doubt that he's a very, very intelligent man. It is because of the fact that they have so many good fighters and they have a good product. And it's not about whether or not this particular fighter loses or this particular fight wins every fight. You can win every fight and snooze and put everybody to sleep every fight that you win. So to have competitive fights where there's a champion, there's a chance that the guy that you think is going to win could lose, and then their willingness to be able to do that, I think is the reason why these fighters on the PBC generally have bigger followings than you do with, say, like this is no slight on Keyshawn Davis, but like then a Keyshawn Davis who, every time you see him fight, and I've seen Keyshawn Davis fight, 5 or 6 times now, I would suspect. Maybe probably more than that, but clearly at least 5 or 6 times. And I've yet, after 5 or 6 times, seen him in there with anybody that I think has any possibility of beating him. So that now for him, that makes a lot of sense because he's a prospect and you build up your prospects. But really the proper way to do it, I believe, is to build your prospects up off camera. And you give, on the untelevised undercard, right? But then once they get to contender status, bring them in there into contender status when they're ready to fight 8, 10 rounders, right? Like where Keyshawn Davis has just gotten now. And so, but it will breed familiarity with them. But if you're watching a fight where you're like, okay, man, this is it's either just a slaughter or it's not competitive, I don't think that's really going to push that. I don't really think that that's pushing the needle. But anyway, long and short of it is that if we don't know and hear right away where Errol Spence Jr. is fighting, what network he's fighting on, if we don't, and where are all these deals, when is this stuff going to get announced, it is something that is probably going to get rolled out as it is finished. And sometimes a lot of times actually, deals that are worth having take a little bit of time to come to fruition. Could take months to come to fruition. 3-4 months, which looks like about where it is. 3-4 months. But we get the card in March 30th, which is great. The Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman. And then we get April over on DAZN. I really like this one. The fight with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. That's a terrific fight. So hopefully this year, since we had a slow beginning, that these deals will get done and everything will pick up in the second half of the year. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.